Tragedy of A-171. India's deadliest air disaster in 15 years, only one survivor. Ahmedabad, India, June 12, 2025, 1:38 p.m. local time. Air India Flight A-171, operated by a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, crashed just 30 seconds after takeoff from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport in Ahmedabad. The aircraft was en route to London Gatwick. In a sudden and catastrophic event, the plane lost altitude shortly after liftoff and slammed into the dormitory compound of BJ Medical College, just 1 to 1.5 kilometers from the runway. According to ADSB data, the aircraft reached an altitude of approximately 200 meters before its signal was lost. Eyewitnesses described the aircraft wobbling, then diving straight down. Emergency responders, including police, NDRF teams, the military, CISF, and medical units, rushed to the crash site for rescue and recovery operations. India's worst aviation disaster in over a decade. There were 242 people on board, 230 passengers, and 12 crew members. In a heartbreaking outcome, only one person survived. Mr. Vishwas Kumar Ramesh, a 40-year-old British businessman of Indian origin who was seated in 11A, right next to the emergency exit. "I thought I was going to die. When I opened my eyes and realized I was still alive, I unbuckled my seatbelt and crawled out," Ramesh said from his hospital bed at Ahmedabad Civil Hospital. He attributed his survival to the strong structural frame around the emergency exit and the fact that he had fastened his seatbelt properly. He suffered minor burns and soft tissue injuries, but is now recovering. Black box recovered, investigation underway. On June 13th, the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder, the aircraft's black boxes, were retrieved and are now being analyzed by India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau in collaboration with experts from the UK and the US National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB. Preliminary evidence, including surveillance footage, ADSB data, and the survivor's testimony, confirms that the crash occurred during the initial climb phase, one of the most critical periods of any flight. Investigators suspect possible misconfiguration, such as landing gear not retracted, engine issues with the GNX engines, or failures in the flight control system. Notably, the pilot managed to issue a brief Mayday distress call just seconds before impact. Devastation at the medical college dormitory. The crash also inflicted severe damage on the dormitories of BJ Medical College. At least 50 medical students were hospitalized, with some reported missing or dead. Photos from the scene show collapsed buildings, thick smoke, and widespread panic. Families gathered outside hospitals, desperately awaiting identification, while DNA testing delays stretched up to 72 hours, further fueling grief and frustration. Call for industry-wide safety review. India's Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, has ordered a full technical inspection of all Boeing 787-8 and -9 aircraft operated by Air India and Indigo, totaling 34 aircraft. Air India has also retired the flight number AI-171 out of respect for the victims. This tragedy has cast a harsh spotlight on several long-standing issues in India's aviation sector, including understaffed maintenance crews, regulatory safety gaps, and the high-pressure demands of low-cost operations. Notably, this is the first fatal crash involving a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner since its introduction in 2011. A symbol of hope among the ruins. Vishwas Ramesh, the lone survivor, is now under tight security at the hospital. Though injured, his condition is stable and his story has captured global attention. "I don't know why I survived. Maybe it was a miracle. I'm grateful to be alive," he said, his voice filled with emotion. His survival has become a rare glimmer of hope amid overwhelming sorrow, a living symbol of the resilience and unpredictability of life. Moving forward, truth, justice, and reform. The Indian government has pledged to release a preliminary investigation report within 3 months, with a full, transparent inquiry to follow. Nations around the world, especially the UK and US, where many passengers hailed from, have expressed condolences and offered support. In cities across India, candlelight vigils are being held in memory of the victims, and a growing call for reform echoes across the aviation industry. The tragedy of A-171 serves as a painful reminder of the critical importance of safety, preparation, and accountability, both in the skies and on the ground.